Hey y'all, how you doing? I'm doing good. I've been home now for a little over a week, and I think I've finally recovered from all the activity I did while I was with my kids and grandkids. So, um, been a bit since I've made a video, so I figured I'd go ahead and talk about something that a lot of people don't talk about. Um, it is painful, but it happens a lot more than you think. Um, this, as y'all know, I have two absolutely wonderful sons. Um, they are the light of my life. They are my pride. They are my reason for everything in my life. Everything I do, everything I've done in my life has been for them. And I wouldn't be half the person I am today if it weren't for them. They inspire me. They are my heroes, and their wives are just as amazing. One thing that probably no one knows about me, except maybe my medical doctors, back in 87 when I was married to my first husband, I was working at 7-Eleven, and we made a trip from the beach, Virginia Beach that is, out here to my parents to visit for the weekend. We'd do that usually like once a month, sometimes once every other month. But we would make regular trips. For a couple weeks before the trip out here, my jeans had been getting a little bit tight on me, but I wasn't gaining weight. So after I got out here, my mom went ahead and took me up to my family doctor from out here, and we ran a pregnancy test. Not a pee test, but an actual blood test. And it came back positive. We had gotten out here Friday evening. This was Saturday morning. I had the test, and I was hesitant, but I was excited because throughout my entire high school career, all I wanted was to get through that so I could get onto my main purpose, which was being a wife and mother. I was already a wife, so, now that I was pregnant, I was excited that I was going to be a mother. So, I told my husband, and, we were great with it. And then the next day, on Sunday, that afternoon, we, went ahead and went home. On the trip home, I started bleeding. It was just a little bit to begin with. After we got home, it got a lot worse. I started having a lot of pain, and started bleeding heavier. So I ended up going to the ER clinic at Oceana Naval Air Station. And unfortunately, while I was there, I had a miscarriage. I wasn't far along, maybe a couple months at the most. But I was excited to be pregnant. After it was all over, the doctors put me on several days bed rest. So I called my work and talked to my supervisor. And I told her, I just had a miscarriage and that I was on bed rest for a few days. And holy crap, she was fucking heartless. All she cared about was me immediately bringing in the paperwork showing where the doctors ordered me to be on bed rest. She didn't even care that I had just suffered a loss. And even though I was only a few months and I had only known for, a couple days, it hurt. To this day, I still think of that pregnancy and wonder what could have been, what might have been. Would that kid have been my Christopher? Or would he have been, would that maybe have been a girl? I mean, you think of those things when you have that loss. And yes, I got over it. I got through it, and I had my boys, and life has been good with my boys. But I do think of that pregnancy and wonder what might have been. And a lot of women have this happen to them for whatever reason, possibly an ectopic pregnancy. It's possible it didn't attach to the lining of the uterus properly. There could have been, some sort of defect making it a not viable pregnancy. But that doesn't make it any less emotional. It it still hurts when I have to fill out paperwork and it says number of pregnancies, number of children, and I have to put 3 pregnancies but only 2 children, and it makes me really wonder what might have been. I don't dwell on it, I really don't. But I look back and I wonder why it wasn't a viable pregnancy and what made me miscarry. There's no way to tell, so you just always have those questions. And you know, maybe my boys would have had an older brother or sister. I don't know. It really does make you wonder and make you think about what could have been. But the one thing I do know is I am one of the most blessed women ever to have the boys that I have. They are amazing, and I certainly wouldn't trade their lives for anything. I would readily lay down my life for them, and for my daughters and my grandsons. I would give them every part of my body if I needed to. But there are a lot of women that have had miscarriages early on, some later on, and some women have to have stillbirths, where it's too late in the pregnancy for them to actually remove the dead child, so they have to give birth knowing that child is already deceased. And I can't imagine how bad their trauma must be to live through that. I mean, I knew I was pregnant for such a short time and was not far along, and it hurt me. It was a loss that took me several years to move past. But I did. But there are women that have to live with that trauma every day, and my heart really goes out to them, because no matter the circumstances, you always have those questions. What could have been? What if? Why? And it is very hard to overcome. I was lucky enough to have 2 perfect pregnancies after that. Well, my oldest son's pregnancy with him was absolutely a dream. It was easy. Pregnancy with my youngest son, that was an ordeal. I had already broken my back. I ended up falling one day at work when I was about 4.5 months pregnant. And from that point on, I was in the emergency room at least once a week due to premature labor with him. He was, every doctor visit, he was on the absolute large side of measurements and weight and everything like that. Throughout my pregnancy with my youngest son, I always laughingly referred to him as my monster child from Mars. And the fact that he was 9 pounds 11 ounces and he was 3 weeks early, yeah, I'm just grateful I didn't go to term with him. But, you know, it was not an easy pregnancy by any means, but I wouldn't have traded a bit of it. Unfortunately, because of the issues with my back and how hard the pregnancy was while they were taking him out via C-section, I had them tie my tubes because I knew my body couldn't handle another pregnancy. But it's something you usually think about for the rest of your life if you've had a miscarriage. And I'm 54 this year. And this happened when I was 19. So, yeah, I still think about it. But I do not take for granted what a great life I've had with my boys and how blessed I am with my sons. They are everything I could have ever hoped for. So I just wanted to share. Anybody that watches this, if you have lost a child, whether it be during pregnancy or in the course of life, my heart hurts for you. And I hope nothing but the best for those that hurt over a lost child. So I'm going to wrap this up. I bid you all a fond farewell. I thank you for watching, and y'all have all my love. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.